Okay, guys. Um, Here's a quick video. I'm going to show you guys. Um, this is all about the diagnostic exam. It's just a review. This is of the things that I saw that some of you got incorrect. So let's get started. The first things I want to show you is comparatives. Comparatives. We use comparatives to compare two places or things using an adjective with the er ending or more or less ending. For example, here we have adjectives. We have big, small, delicious, good, and bad. You can, for comparatives, we have to change the adjective to the comparative form, which big is bigger, small, smaller, delicious, more or less delicious, good, better, bad, worse. Here with delicious, we use more or less because delicious has more than two syllables. Delicious. So it's necessary when adjectives have more than two syllables, we have to put more or less, depending what you want to talk about. Here's some examples. Messi is better than Ronaldo. Tacos are more delicious than pozole. The teacher is bigger than a cat. Ocotlan is smaller than Guadalajara. Now, if you see the examples, these four sentences have one word in common. That word is than. When we use comparatives, we have to use the word than. It is a rule, so you have to follow it. So always remember to use than. Then has to go after, you see, after the comparative. So we have better than, more delicious than, bigger than, smaller than. Okay, so that is for comparatives. Next thing I saw some of you had problems with was do or does. Now we use do or does in the simple present. We can use them in a couple of ways. Here's with do. With do, we have questions, yes or no questions. Do you, do we, do they, do I. Now, negatives, we use you don't, we don't, they don't, I don't. Now, for both of these, you have to use a verb in the simple present. So, for example, I'm just going to use eat here. I'm going to use the simple one, eat. Uh, Go was another one. Go. The verbs have to be in simple present. Visit, visit, study, study. Okay? Now, we use does. Does is similar to do, except we don't use the same subjects. With do, we have you, we have we have they, and I. These subjects are only used with do. Now, with does, we have he, she, and it. So for questions, we have does he, I'm going to just put a verb here, eat? The negative, he doesn't eat. Does she study? She doesn't study. Obviously, you need to put a space here. Sorry. Does it work? Maybe your television. It doesn't work. It's very similar to do, but here's another rule. You cannot mix the subjects, subjects from do with does. For example, you cannot say do he. This is incorrect. You cannot say does you. That is also incorrect. So you have to be careful when you see does or do or don't and doesn't. You cannot mix the subjects. Okay? Another thing is very similar to have or has. I mean, to do or does, have or has. This is in the simple present form. There are many forms of have or has. This is simple present. Very similar. For have, we use I have, we have, they have, you have. But here we don't use verbs because have is the verb. So for example, I have a dog. We have cars. They have friends, for example. You have cats, whatever. Or I don't have a dog. We don't have cars. They don't have friends. And you don't have cats. With have or has, we don't use verbs because have is the verb. If you see, we have here in positive, we use have. I have, we have, they have, you have. In negative, we have to add don't. It's very important that we add don't because it's in simple present. But the verb is the same. I don't have, we don't have, they don't have, you don't have. Oh, I put you don't. Sorry. With has is similar. She has friends. He has, it has many channels, for example, television. For negative, this is for positive. I didn't put the sign, sorry. This is for negative. She doesn't have friends. He doesn't have a cat. It doesn't have channels. So for has, again, is similar to have, but with a different subject. She has, had, had. Over here, I have, we have, they have. And again, you cannot mix the subjects. This is very important. You cannot mix the subjects. Here, when we use negative for has, we have to change it. We have to put doesn't because remember, you cannot put she, don't. You have to use she doesn't, just like this. Those are rules. And the verb has to be in simple present, which is have. He doesn't have, he doesn't have, it doesn't have. That is the present form of has. You cannot mix it, so you cannot say it have, you has. That is incorrect. Now, I'm going to give you guys a couple of exercises which will be available in the classroom platform. So please do it. And if you have questions, please send me a message and I will be happy to help you. Thank you. Have a good night.